Hi everyone, I'm Xiao Jin from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the making method for the Plum Garden bag from Animism series. This bag consists of the bag body and decorative motifs. Secure the motifs on one side of the bag. There are no requirements for motif colors, just mix and match freely. There are 6 motifs in total. First, let's learn the crocheting method for motif 1. Motif 1 uses the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The stitches used are chain stitches, single crochets, and slip stitches. Please watch my demonstration of the specific crocheting method before starting the actual crocheting. First, learn the proper posture for crocheting. This bag uses 2 types of yarn. One of them is color segmented yarn for crocheting. Starting with different color segments will create slightly different effects. Choose according to your preference. Also, this yarn is not easy to undo, so it's recommended to follow the video. For the crocheting method, you can also practice with other yarn first. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I'll demonstrate using cotton yarn. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. First, let's cast on. Wrap the yarn tail around your left little finger. Once. Pass through between the middle finger and index finger. Then use your thumb and middle finger to pinch the yarn tail. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand and position it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise once. With your left thumb and middle finger, pinch the crossing point of the loop. Place the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten. Adjust the loop size. Begin chain stitches. Yarn over. Pull through. 1 chain stitch is done. Yarn over again. Pull through. This is the second stitch. Continue crocheting. 3 stitches. 4 stitches. 5 stitches. 6 stitches. 1 chain represents 1 stitch. The loop on the hook does not count toward the stitch count. The chain stitches are completed. Next, insert the hook into the first chain stitch, the outer strand. Crochet slip stitches. Insert. Pull the yarn through and draw through in once. Slip stitch completed. Casting on is done. Now crochet the first round. First, make 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for single crochet. This chain stitch does not count as a stitch. Then in the cast on ring, work single crochets. The single crochet technique is to insert into the magic ring. When crocheting, place the starting tail above the hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. 2 loops remain on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops on the hook in one go. 1 single crochet is completed. At the top right of the single crochet, there are 2 strands of yarn forming a V shape. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Place a stitch marker on the stitch. When no stitch marker is available, use a paper clip or a safety pin as a substitute. Continue working single crochets. Insert into the beginning magic ring. Place the yarn tail above the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through once. 2 loops on the hook. The second single crochet is completed. You need to make 10 single crochets in the first round. Continue crocheting the remaining single crochets. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail while crocheting. When you're halfway through, move the completed part to the right a bit, leaving space for the remaining part. After completing the last single crochet, you can count the stitches. Count the V-shaped loops from back to front. There are 10 stitches in total, matching the chart. At the stitch marker position, make one slip stitch. Keep the stitch marker in place for now. Insert the hook, yarn over, draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook. The slip stitch is complete. In the chart, this slip stitch is represented by a solid circle. It indicates to tighten. This slip stitch does not count as a stitch. The chart shows a hollow triangle symbol here. It indicates that you need to switch colors for round 2. Chain 1 to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. The starting tail of the yarn, one round has been completed. You can cut it directly. Round 1 is done. The clearer texture side is the right side. The other side has a blurrier texture. Move on to round 2. Take new yarn. Actual color scheme. Adjust according to preference. Make a slip knot with the yarn tail. Hang the yarn tail on the left hand. Take the first round. Take the first roll. Take the first round. Insert the hook into the first round. Into the first stitch, which is the marker, the stitch marker's position. Actually, you can insert into any stitch in this round. Draw the loop through. Adjust the loop size. Work 13 chain stitches downward. Hook while carrying along the yarn tail from the previous fasten off. After completing, make one slip stitch into the adjacent stitch. Pay attention, don't twist the chains. Pick up both strands. While hooking, don't forget to tuck in these 2 yarn tails. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all the loops on the hook. The chart shows slip stitches here, represented by solid oval dots, indicates slip stitches don't need to be tightened. Continue with 13 chain stitches. Make one slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. The following are all chain stitches and slip stitches, alternate crocheting. Complete this round. After completing the last group of chain stitches, at the insertion point of the first group of chain stitches, work a slip stitch. Similarly, this slip stitch doesn't need to be tightened. You can count. A total of 10 groups of chain stitches were made. Make one chain stitch to secure. Pull a large loop. When cutting the yarn, leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. I won't repeat this explanation. Tighten. Take this yarn tail and weave it in through the backside texture. In practice, you should weave in several more stitches. Trim off the excess yarn tail directly. Round 2 is completed. Motif 1 is done. Repeat this process. Complete the corresponding number of motif 1. Randomly combine all motifs color schemes. When crocheting with variegated yarn, use different color sections from various parts. Stagger the color changes between sections. I won't repeat this explanation later. Now crochet motif 2. Motif 2 also uses the chain ring method for starting. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch techniques used are single crochet increase and double crochet. Watch my demonstration of the specific crocheting method. Work 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. After completing these 3 stitches, place a stitch marker on them. Then insert the hook into the first chain stitch. Pick up a strand of yarn. Work a slip stitch. The starting chain is completed. Now work round 1. Chain 1. As the turning chain for single crochet. Work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Crochet into the marked stitch position. Mark the first stitch. Finish the remaining part. Don't forget to weave in the ends while crocheting. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch to finish. Pull tight. Trim off the excess yarn tail from the starting chain. Round 1 is completed. Now work round 2. Chain 1 to begin. Make a SC2 in 1. Pick up the stitch. Work 2 single crochets. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. This completes a single crochet increase. Mark the first stitch. Next on the left stitch. Make a single crochet increase. Insert the hook into the stitch. Pull through 2 single crochets. The second single crochet increase is completed. The pattern for this round of crochet is worked on the stitches from the previous round, crocheting single crochet increases correspondingly. Continue working the remaining increases all the way down. After completing the last single crochet increase, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position. Pull tight. Round 2 is completed. Round 3. Make 1 beginning chain to start. In the stitch below, make 1 single crochet. Mark it. Match the next one. Pick up the stitch and work a single crochet. Complete them all. Finally, at the stitch marker position, join with a slip stitch to finish. Pull tight. There's a hollow triangle here. The next round requires switching colors. Chain 1 to secure. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. This round is worked. Even single crochets, edge of the fabric, will curl slightly, which is normal. Let's adjust the piece. Let the clearer texture side face outward. Round 3 is completed. Finally, crochet the 4th round. Take the new yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert the hook into the previous round, first stitch, which is at this knot position. Draw the loop through. Adjust the loop size. Join the yarn later. Repeat this process. I won't repeat the explanation. Work 2 chains. Crochet while incorporating the previous yarn tail. Then in the same position, work 2 double crochets. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the stitch. Secure the yarn tail. Pull the yarn through. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remain. Yarn over. Draw through in once. 1 double crochet completed. Continue to the second stitch. Yarn over once. Insert into the same stitch. Pull through. Yarn over one after another through the loops on the hook. First 2 loops. Repeat twice. Second double crochet completed. Work 2 chains as transition. In the same position, slip stitch, knot tightened. Treat these stitches as one motif. First motif completed. Move on to the second motif. 2 chains. Adjacent single crochet stitch. Work 2 double crochets. Note, because each motif has more stitches, adjacent stitch will be partially covered. Don't miss it. Two chains. One slip stitch. Second group completed. Continue to the third group. 2 chains. Adjacent stitch 2 double crochets. Two chains. One slip stitch. Third group completed. This round has a total of 12 groups. Repeat this process. Complete the remaining groups. After finishing the last group, at the insertion point of the first group, make a slip stitch. Pull tight. Chain 1 to secure. Cut the yarn. Tuck the yarn tail along the wrong side texture. Round 4 is completed. This is the crochet method for motif 2. Next, we'll crochet motif 3. Motif 3 also uses the chain ring method. Crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is treble crochet. Watch my demonstration. For the specific crochet method, motif 3 round 1, chain 3 to form a ring, crochet 5 single crochets. I've already completed this part in advance. At the first stitch position, join with a slip stitch to finish. Round 2, crochet 5 single crochet increases. Cut the yarn after completion. Next, crochet round 3. Left hand holds the new yarn in position. Draw the loop through from the knot position. Chain 4. Mark this insertion position. After completion, work in the same position. Crochet 2 treble crochets. Yarn over twice. 2. Insert into the corresponding position. Always tighten when crocheting. Previous yarn tail. No further reminders from now on. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over one after another. Pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat 3 times. 2, 3. 1 treble crochet is completed. Make 1 more stitch in the same position. Wrap the yarn twice. Insert the hook. Draw through. Yarn over one after another. Pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat 3 times. The second treble crochet is completed. Crochet 2 more stitches in the adjacent stitch. Finish with 4 chain transitions. In the same position, make 1 slip stitch. Treat these stitches as a pattern. The first pattern is completed. This pattern is crocheted on the single crochet increase of the previous round. Move on to the second pattern. First crochet 4 chains. In the adjacent 2 stitches, crochet 2 treble crochets in each. Four chains. 1 slip stitch in the same position. The second group of patterns is completed. Crocheted on the second single crochet increase. Repeat this process. Finish the remaining patterns. After completing the last group of patterns, secure with a chain stitch. Cut the yarn. Round 3 is completed. Move on to round 4. Take new yarn to crochet. Insert into the previous round the insertion point for the first pattern group, which is the previous stitch marker position. Draw the loop through. Chain 5. The previous yarn tail, leave it for now. On the treble crochet stitch, work single crochets, a total of 4 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4. Chain 5. At the insertion point of the slip stitch below, finish with a slip stitch. Wrap the previous slip stitch together. The first group is completed. Move on to the second group. Chain 5 first. On the adjacent treble crochet, work single crochets. A total of 4 stitches. Chain 5. At the insertion point of the slip stitch below, work a slip stitch. The second group is completed. Finish the remaining part. The slip stitch of the last group. Work in the insertion point of the first group. Once completed, cut the yarn. Weave in the previous yarn tails together. Round 4 is completed. This is the crocheting method for motif 3. Motif 4 is the same. Chain ring method. Crocheting in rounds. The new stitch technique used is DC3 together in 1. Please watch my demonstration. The specific crocheting method. Chain 3 magic ring. Make 1 beginning chain to start once completed. In the foundation chain ring, work 1 single crochet. Mark it. 1 chain stitch. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 chain stitch. Alternate crocheting. Complete 5 groups in total. Join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position once completed. Finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. The first round is completed. Move on to crochet the second round. Before crocheting, first mark the chain space between the single crochets. It's convenient to find the position when crocheting. Pull the yarn tight for 30. Hang the yarn tail on the left hand. Join the yarn from the knot position. Insert the hook into the stitch. Work 3 chains. In the adjacent chain space, make a DC3 together in 1. First work 3 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over once. Insert underneath the marked stitch marker position. Marked stitch marker position. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remaining. 1 incomplete double crochet, completed. Move on to the second stitch. Yarn over once. Insert. Draw through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Second stitch completed. Continue to the third stitch. Four loops on the hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. DC3 together in 1 completed. Work 3 chains. Adjacent single crochet stitch. Finish with a slip stitch. Because there are many bobble stitches, single crochet stitch will be covered. Slightly move the bobble stitch before crocheting. Continue with 3 chains. Bobble stitch in the left side space. First work 3 incomplete double crochets. Two. 3. Yarn over and pull through the hook. 4 loops. The second bobble stitch is completed. Chain 3. Slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. This round is worked in the previous rounds. Chain spaces for bobble stitches. Slip stitch in the single crochet stitch. Between the bobble stitch and the slip stitch, chain 3 as a transition. Repeat this process. Complete the remaining sections. After completing the last bobble stitch, chain 3 as a transition. In the insertion point of the first set of chains, slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails. Round 2 is completed. Motif 4 is finished. Next, learn the crocheting method for motif 5. Motif 5 also starts with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds. The new stitch technique used is half double crochet. Watch my demonstration. The specific crocheting method. Chain 5 to form a ring. After completing, make 3 beginning chains. 2, 3. Treat these 3 chains as 1 double crochet. Mark the 3rd stitch. Pick up these 2 strands. Then in the chain ring, make a double crochet. Including the beginning chain, make 12 stitches in total. Complete all the way down. While crocheting, every 3 to 4 stitches, move the completed section to the right. Continue crocheting. Finally, at the stitch marker position, join with a slip stitch. Also pick up these 2 strands. Cut the yarn. Round 1 is completed. Crochet round 2. Join the yarn from where you cut the yarn. Insert the hook into the slip stitch insertion point. First crochet 8 chain stitches. From the 3rd stitch from the end, crochet 1/2 double crochet, yarn over once. 2, 3. This chain, insert into the top strand. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Half double crochet completed. Continue, insert into adjacent chain, top strand, make a double crochet. Match the next one, pick up the top strand of the chain and make a double crochet. Crochet a total of 5 stitches, 3 stitches left, complete them. When finished, from the adjacent stitch, finish with a slip stitch. Note the first round beginning chain picks up 2 strands, finish with a slip stitch. Adjacent double crochet stitches are not obvious. Pick up 2 strands like this in crocheting. The first petal is completed. Move on to the second one. 8 chains. From the 3rd to last chain, half double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert the hook. Draw through. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Loops on the hook. The half double crochet is completed. Work 5 double crochets downward. The first chain is not obvious. Pay attention not to miss it. Once completed, in the adjacent double crochet stitch, slip stitch. The second petal is completed. This round, a total of 12 petals are crocheted. Repeat this process. Crochet the remaining petals. After completing the last double crochet, at the insertion point of the first petal, slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails. Round 2 is completed. This is the crocheting method for motif 5. Next, learn the crocheting method for motif 6. Motif 6 also starts with a magic ring, crocheting in rounds. Watch my demonstration. For the specific crocheting method, first, work round 1, chain 6 to form a ring. Chain 4 as beginning chain. Consider these 4 chains as one treble crochet. Mark the 4th chain. Pick up 2 strands of yarn. Next, work 2 treble crochets. Treat these 3 stitches as a group. Chain 3 as transition. Next, work 3 treble crochets. Chain 3. This round, 3 treble crochets. Chain 3, alternate crocheting. Crochet a total of 5 groups. Finish them. After completing the last 3 chain stitches, at the stitch marker position, join with a slip stitch to finish. Pick up 2 strands of yarn. Pull tight, cut the yarn. Round 1 is completed. Next, crochet round 2. Starting from the treble crochet stitch in the group where you cut the yarn in the previous round, the stitch in the middle of the treble crochet, make a beginning chain. This stitch is not very visible. Pick up 2 strands like this. Draw the loop through. Chain 1 to begin. On this stitch, mark by picking up 2 strands. In the adjacent chain space, crochet 9 treble crochets. While crocheting, weave in the yarn tail together. Similarly, when halfway done, adjust the position of the treble crochet. Once completed, in the middle on the left side, into the treble crochet stitch, slip stitch. This entire round is worked on the previous round, into the stitch between each group of treble crochets, slip stitch. Into the chain space, crochet 9 treble crochets. Complete them. After finishing the last group of treble crochets, into the top of the beginning chain, slip stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails. The second round is complete. Motif 6 is completed. Repeat this process. Complete all the motifs. After all the motifs are crocheted, attach them to the bag. Take the bag. All the motifs. The right side faces out. Lay them flat. Actual motif arrangement. No layering requirements. According to your preference, arrange freely. Once the positions are set, use hot melt glue to securely attach them. If you don't have a hot glue gun, you can use the inner flame of a lighter to melt the hot glue stick, and then attach them. When attaching, you need to unfold each petal of the motifs and secure them in place to prevent the motifs from curling up. This is the method for securing motifs. Once the motifs are secured well, this commuter bag is finished. Up to this point, the making method of the whole bag has been explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching.